What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Professor Anime and welcome back to another video. In this video, I am here to bring you all my review of Tales of Zestiria, the X, Episode 6. Well, Episode 6 of the broadcast order. However, if you are abiding to the chronological order of how the story goes, this is actually Episode 5 of Tales of Zestiria, the X. But without further ado, let's get this started. Yo, so in this episode of Tales of Zestiria the X, we get to see my bae. We get to see Velvet, who is actually the main protagonist of the new game that is about to come out in Japan called Tales of Berseria. Now, this is very interesting, okay? We learn a little bit about Velvet in this episode of Tales of Zestiria, but not a whole lot of information is revolving around her character. We don't know exactly how she ended up the way she is, why the fact she was in prison, or why the fact she has a demon-like arm. What we do know about Velvet is that she is part demon, basically, and that for some odd reason she wounded up in prison, and that she holds a grudge and wants revenge on this specific individual named Artorias, who ended up, I guess, sacrificing a child which she was quite fond of, which maybe is probably her brother. I'm suspecting that maybe it could be her brother, her little brother, because in the trailers of Tales of Berseria, that is how it seems. It seems like the past on how Artorias ended up becoming a thing is that Velvet's brother actually was a sacrificial pawn to how Artorias ended up gaining power. So the little child could be Velvet's younger brother. And that is pretty much all we really know about her at this point in time. If we want to know more information about Velvet's character, we're going to have to wait until the next couple episodes of Tales of Zestiria the X come out, or either we're going to have to wait until the game itself of Tales of Berseria comes out, which I know for a fact the game is going to do a better job at actually giving more background information on some of the characters, of course. But, you know, I'm just very curious as to how, you know, they're going to end up tying these two storylines together, which we will get to in a bit. So basically what we see in this episode is Velvet escaping from prison with the help of this mysterious woman who came to the prison specifically in order to help Velvet escape from prison, named Ceres. And of course they end up, you know, getting into a few obstacles along the way as this is going on. And we also get to see one of the other characters that is one of the main characters of, I guess, Tales of Berseria, named Rangetsu. Now, I gotta say, when it comes to the character design for Rangetsu, I gotta say, he looks like a complete boss. I'm loving the character design when it comes to his character, and it seems like he is a demon himself. Apparently, he, you know, has this red eye, and half of his face is, like, covered in black and stuff, and I'm very curious to learn more about his character as well. But it seems like he is a demon just like Velvet, and it's been speculated when it comes to this episode that, you know, these so-called demons were at one time humans. So, you know, when it comes to learning more about Rangetsu and Velvet on how exactly they became demons, you know, it's still shrouded in mystery, and hopefully, you know, as the episodes of Tales of Zestiria the X end up coming about, you know, we learn more about how exactly they came to be. Now, I'm just very curious on how exactly they're going to end up tying into these two worlds of Tales of Berseria and Tales of Zestiria, because it seems like they are mashing them together, because if you remember correctly, in last week's episode of Tales of Zestiria, right at the very end, there was like this huge malevolent storm that was going about that everybody was looking at. Either you would think it is the Lord of Calamity, or it is actually Velvet, which is probably most likely the case, because in this episode we get to see, you know, Velvet in this episode, and apparently in the next episode we are also going to see more from Velvet as well. And my theory is that basically, if they are trying to tie in these two worlds together, and how exactly Velvet arrives in the present timeline with, you know, Saray and Mikleo and the rest of the cast, I think what they're going to do is that they are going to go through some sort of time warp that puts Velvet you know, how she is a main character of the past into the future of the present. So honestly, I don't know exactly what is going on. I don't know how they plan to mash these two storylines together and try to work it out, because when it comes to, you know, two different worlds, and if you're trying to mash them together, it can either make the series go uphill or it can go downhill, just depending on how they handle it. So we'll see how they do when it comes to handling these two storylines. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on what you thought about this episode. And of course, if you like my content, be sure to drop a like on this video. And if you want to stick up to date to my future content on this channel, please hit that red subscribe button below, and you will never miss a video from me. That about does it for this video, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.